WWE Book The Story. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, we're going to try something new out again.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? We kind of like doing just different new things.
We do.
So Will's got a bunch of scenarios here for different stories that I don't know the stories or the options, but he's going to give me a few options here and see like which one would I do, which one would he do, which one would you guys do? See how it goes.
Yeah, it's current storylines. I gave an A, B, C option for how you'd want the story to go, and we're going to go down the list, do that. Let's get right into it. We're going to start nice and easy.
Okay.
Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston.
Okay.
We got Xavier Woods, who's seemingly on the collapse away from the New Day. As we're filming this, we're filming it before the Monday Night Raw. Of course, he's out of town, so we're filming this a little bit ahead of time. So if something big happened on Raw, well, screw us. But
yeah. This is maybe, I don't know what else is on here, but this is probably the one that maybe has the biggest chance to have something happen.
yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we got A, B, and C, how you would like to see it go out of these three options. Book it. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. A, Xavier Woods turns on Kofi Kingston, ends with a long feud with Kofi.
Okay.
B, Big E comes back before Xavier Woods full turns, and the New Day continues. He brings everybody together. Or C, Xavier Woods splits from Kofi. No hard blood there. No bad blood there. Xavier Woods goes on his own singles path.
Can I do A and B? like I kind of want Woods to... I saw some people talk about Kofi. I think Kofi would be an interesting thing. They just haven't shown that really.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we're just kind of really fantasy booking at that point. Although there was a little bit of disappointment, I guess, after his last singles match. But I think Woods turning on Kofi is kind of what's needed. Give a little spice to it. Let them go a little bit down the line. Let Woods still lose control of himself. Still kind of be like just, he goes ballistic, right? And keeps attacking Kofi, and the beatings keep getting worse and worse and worse. And then Big E comes back, tries to talk some sense into Woods. Maybe you get Woods attacking Big E. Obviously, Big E can't return to like in-ring action.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming maybe he could take like a small move or two, that's something that's not going to put him in jeopardy of getting hurt, but makes him look like he's hurt, you know?
Yeah, I'm surprised you... Well, okay, no, I'm not surprised you went with those options because it feels like that's the route, right? It feels like the obvious route is for Xavier's first singles rivalry to be Kofi Kingston after a big breakup. I personally went with C here, though. I would like for Xavier Woods to split from a New Day, but kind of just nod in Kofi's direction and be like, I'm done with this. I don't feel this anymore. No disrespect to you. I respect what we've done. I'm out. Mostly because we just kind of got that same kind of breakup. It didn't go down the exact same way, but we got the Usos, an all-time tag team, breaking up, over, a year ago, a year and a half ago, and that feels a little bit too fresh. I would like for Xavier Woods to at least have good blood with Kofi, to where if Xavier Woods does do the whole IC title route and all this stuff, and then eventually if they come back together year down the line, 2 years down the line, there doesn't have to be some like redemption arc to it. It would be one of those things where like, you know what, you went a while back ago, you became a world champion. I went on my own, I became a singles champion. We're in the latter parts of our career. Let's get the New Day back together type deal.
Yeah, I think that's maybe a possibility too. Like maybe they don't cross paths, they just separate until the very end.
Yeah.
And then they cross paths over like let's say an IC title or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I just want some respect there. I'd rather the New Day not have a bunch of bad blood. Is kind of what I'm saying.
I'm here for the bad blood.
Well,
I want the bad
blood. It is wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move on though. Tiffany Stratton, Money in the Bank story at Crown Jewel. Okay. So at Crown Jewel, Tiffany Stratton. A successful cash in on Nia at Crown Jewel, then goes and feuds with Nia. B, Tiffy fails the cash in whenever she tries to and feuds with Nia post failed cash in. So you still have that title opportunity for her, but she fails the cash in. Or Tiffany does not cash in at Crown Jewel, extending the Nia Tiffany drama.
Ooh, I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna say failing on Liv Morgan.
Ooh,
take it one step further. Failing on Liv Morgan. Let's say at Crown Jewel. Why not do it there? Maybe Nia talks her into doing that. Maybe Nia is more vulnerable, but Nia talks Tiffany into cashing in on Liv. And then she fails, and because of that, she loses out on her chance to become the women's champion. And now Nia and Tiffany are at ends. How could you do this? Like, this was my chance. Like, I could have easily just taken you out, but we were supposed to be friends, and now we're not friends, and da-da-da-da-da. And then you build that up.
Yeah, I agree. I picked B here as well, but I want to do it where Nia cashes in for her. I want Tiffany to run in the ring at Crown Jewel and do the whole should I not, and Nia does her sit up again, her Undertaker or whatever, and she's basically just like, no, you're cashing in. Cash in right now, and you're cashing in on Liv Morgan. Do it. And then she fails by some way, shape, or form. Maybe Dom causes shenanigans, and Nia ends up screwing Tiffany out of her own cash in that she made her cash in on. Mm-hmm. I feel like that would just be perfect, because then you would immediately have the storyline of the next Friday, like, you literally took away my championship opportunity. Now I'm coming for you.
Yeah, probably. I would assume if that is the route they go, kind of like the same thing, just a little bit different twist here. You probably have some sort of Rhea interference. I mean, Rhea's kind of already crossed paths with them a little bit, intertwined in her tagging with Tiffany at times too. So, like, plus we know they love to get Rhea involved in stuff, so I could just see that happening.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
we'll move on though. Getting right through these. Kevin Owens heel turn. This is not going to be a like how should it end, or these are just three scenarios that could happen through it. So Kevin Owens heel turn. A, he gets Randy to eventually turn with him, setting up Orton versus Rhodes. B, feuds with Orton, then gets past Orton, feuds with Cody at Rumble time-ish, or maybe a little bit before that. Just basically goes through Orton, then goes to Cody. Or C, not only does he feud with Cody, ends up taking the belt in one way, shape, or form, even if it's just for a short month or so.
I'm going to go A. I'm going to go A and have I really just want the Orton Rhodes thing. But even in the meantime, like, you could have Kevin Owens and Orton be a tag team. You could have them be a heel tag team at this point.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow. Kind of ganging up on Cody. We've talked about potential like U.S. title stuff happening with maybe the U.S. title where LA Knight drops that. So maybe Cody's in search of somebody to help team with him. So maybe you just have like the Ultimate Americans. You have LA Knight and Cody Rhodes versus Orton and Owens.
Or maybe Cody did Roman a solid and he joined the tag team match against the Bloodline. Maybe it's time for Roman to come to a solid, and then that would just spike the feud even more. But yeah, I'm going to go with A on that one. I do think that at some point we should get KO being able to talk Randy into turning on on Cody Rhodes, because I just feel like that's the most natural progression of the story. And KO and Randy were always much more close than KO or Randy were to Cody, storyline wise, not in person, right? Randy and Cody are very close in real life, but
and it's been 10 years, 12 years, or however long since Legacy.
Yeah,
so
the Legacy,
far away.
Legacy the word hasn't even been spoken on wrestling TV in so long. So in recent years, KO and Randy have kind of been a thing, and so getting Kevin Owens and Randy a good match, and then somehow, some way, Kevin Owens being able to turn his mind onto Cody, and then we get Randy Cody. That just seems like wins for everybody around, and that would be a good way to do this Kevin Owens heel turn.
I just feel like there's more possible scenarios with that happening, like more possible outcomes. You know,
good stuff for us.
Because C there with Owens taking the belt, like, I mean, none of us really see Cody dropping that belt at any time. So it's like the more interesting we can make those feuds with Cody until whenever that is, he drops that. That's kind of the way I want them to go.
Yeah, I would agree. Big stuff happening lately in this storyline. Getting Jay to the Bloodline. Getting Jay Uso to the Bloodline. A lot happening recently with that, especially in the last week and a half. Mm-hmm. Dude's showing up everywhere, yeeting on every television show. Anyway, we got A. Jimmy helps Jay stay the Intercontinental Champion. That leads to good graces that lead to Jay eventually joining the Bloodline, the original Bloodline, so Roman and Jimmy. B. We got Bloodline 2.0 ends up recruiting Jay. So he gets to the 2.0 first. And so he's recruited to that Bloodline. Or C, Jay doesn't join anybody for a while. He sits out War Games and doesn't rejoin till down the line. So we extend this whole story past maybe an Intercontinental reign for Jay. Maybe he keeps the belt and just focuses on that for a little bit. And then maybe come Rumble time or something down the line, we get Jay back into it.
Can I do D? D. Can I come up with a special one here?
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna say that Jay kind of stays out of it. So I guess it is kind of C, but I think he makes the decision at Survivor Series. So you have like Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0. Bloodline, original Bloodline's one member short. How are they gonna go up against these 4 Bloodline 2.0 members? And then all of a sudden the music hits and boom. That's what I want.
I want a little bit so I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't say a D, but I would say B with an asterisk. I would say I do actually want Bloodline 2.0 to end up getting Jay to recruit to them for a little bit, but then the turn happens at Survivor Series in the War Games match. So one way or another, and that might happen tonight, even though we're filming this on Monday, so it might happen tonight where somebody screws Jay out of the IC title or whatever, and maybe it does end up being Jimmy on accident. You have him join Bloodline 2.0, and then you take this next month and a half building up to Survivor Series on him kind of acknowledging Solo as his tribal chief a little bit, and then but Solo still kind of keep treating him like crap the entire way. Treat him like crap, and then in the War Games match, halfway through it, the whole crowd's yeeting, and he's looking at Solo, and Solo's maybe telling him to finish off his brother or something, like in Jimmy, and then Jay's just like, nah, he goes and spears Solo. That'd be wild.
I mean, that would be cool too. I would sign up for that. And I think we got some people saying like, there's no possible way he joins Bloodline 2.0. Like, it just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for him right away, right? Mm-hmm. Surface level. But like, you think about it, like ultimately at the end of the day, I guess what I'm saying that like, we think eventually at the end of the day, Jay is going to find his way back to Jimmy and Roman. That's kind of what we're thinking. 100%. But in the meanwhile, like, you could do so many cool things with him joining the Bloodline 2.0, even if it is for only like a month and a half. Like, it would be really intriguing stuff. It would be good stuff to see.
Yeah, it'd be like Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family for a little bit there. Randy Orton joined the Wyatt family there for a little bit. It's just, we haven't seen that type of stuff in over a decade, right? That was a decade ago. And it'd be really cool for Jay to kind of be the Anakin almost, Star Wars wise, like join the dark side for a little bit and then come back around and become the savior of the original bloodline, which would be very, very cool. We'll move it on though. John Cena, his final year.
Come.
A, B, or C here?
Okay.
A, B, or C here? A. Cena breaks Flair's record, drops the title to an up-and-comer. B. No title run, but dream matches galore. So all these dream matches that you want to see. Cena Cody, he can lose it. Cena LA Knight, he can lose it. Cena whatever else you want to see. Or C. Heel turn, Hollywood Hogan-esque final run for John Cena.
I'm going A if I have to pick.
Yeah?
I want that title. I want that 17th title. It just makes sense. We've talked about it before. If not him, then who? I still think like you can do that. He can drop that early enough after winning it that you can still have those dream matches. And I think that's kind of like the best of both worlds. You get like an A and a B here. He can drop the title to whoever. I mean, realistically for me, like as long as he gets number 17, I don't really care who he fights. He could fight Tommaso Ciampa. I don't know. Akira Tozawa. I don't care. Like,
yes. Otis.
Otis. Like, I don't really care who it is. Like, just throw somebody out there, have him lose. I don't care. He's number 17.
I agree. But the issue, I would choose A, the title run. But my thing is like, if we do get a Cena title run, is it going to be just like a cheap cop out, like 1 month thing?
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that in this particular situation, like with who it is. And we talk all the time about like title runs don't need to be super long.
Yeah.
Like it could be a cheap cop out one for a month and okay, here we go. You can drop the title there. You could go off and do whatever. Like, and I'm okay with that.
Because if they give John Cena a long title run, if the idea is to like take the first 2.5 months building up Cena to be in a title situation, he wins it. And then they're like, we're going to give him this last 10-month title run and end with him dropping the belt, right? And that be his final move in wrestling. You're not going to get the dream matches because John Cena can't just be beating everybody, right? So I just feel like if he does get the long title reign, they're not going to feed him all the dream matches that we want to see. It'll be I'm not going to call it a Brock Lesnar-like title run, but it'll be less defended because, you can't just have John Cena walk in and start beating everybody. He can't be Super Cena in the year 2025.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good balance. That's why I want the cheap cop-out title reign. It can be a month. It can be a month and a half. Have him lose it on Raw to somebody. Why not? You know, I don't care. As long as I get it and then you get the quick drop and then you can go do whatever.
I agree. Just break the record, man. Give it to Cena. He deserves it. Then drop it to Randy and have him break Cena's record. Joking on that one. Judgment Day's ending. Judgment Day's ending. Seems like a more requested thing than ever at this moment, which really sucks because they were doing some phenomenal work there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But 3 options here for Judgment Day's ending. A, Finn turns on the group, establishes himself as a top competitor again. So he turns on the group, breaks up Judgment Day, walks away, goes and establishes himself as a top singles competitor again. Bye-bye. B, Dom becomes mid-card champ, and then they slowly separate from the group. So the group just fizzles. And C, Terror Twins break up the group once and for all after a slow destruction.
That's probably the most likely.
Yeah. We're not talking about most likely. You book it.
I guess out of these choices, I'm going to go A. And I guess that's a 2-part answer. I think, so for me, the way that I would book the Judgment Day to me, I don't feel like it really has any strong legs right now. So like, I hate to just spice things up, but like, to me, that's kind of what needs to happen. I think Finn kind of turns, and I'd even put probably Liv in there. Ooh. And I'd have Finn and Liv turn, which kind of pushes Dom to the side and pushes Dom out as like a face. And I know I've said this before, and the backlash I've gotten is like, Dom's such a good heel. Why would you? I understand that. I get that. Don't get me wrong. I love Dom. But I also think that there's a growing population of people that love Dom so much that he can eventually switch and he'll be a face and he can kind of be that sympathetic baby face. I'm not saying it has to be tonight when we record this. I'm not saying next week or next month, but that's how I would book Judgment Day. And you could flip it. Dom becomes like the sympathetic baby face sort of thing because he needs to do something. He's kind of lost.
Yeah.
And you could just do that. And then Finn can kind of reestablish himself, even though I'm out on Finn, really.
That's my point. I'm going B here. Multiple reasons, like you just ended on. Finn, to me, they've missed it with him. It would take a lot of work for me to, like, it would take more for him to just like be booked in the next main event match and just end up winning it for me to care again. Yep. Like if he just walks out and wins now, I'm gonna be like, what? But all this just happened and he kept losing. So why now? You know, it wouldn't make any sense no matter what. So that combined with just, I feel like the Judgment Day has lost all steam in terms of crowd support, period. Like, you just don't see any more support on the internet for them. You don't see, montages about the Judgment Day or anything like you did when you're scrolling through TikTok anymore. So I would like for Dom to get his IC title with Liv, with Raquel. They just kind of separate, and then maybe you just kind of you get the belts off JD and Finn, and then you kind of just keep them off screen for a little bit, and you don't really make it a big deal that Judgment Day is done now. You kind of just let it sizzle, and that's kind of that. Just stop mentioning it. You basically just separate him marketing-wise and just forget about the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I think that we're ultimately saying the same thing, but maybe 2 different ways. Like the main thing for me is to get Dom away from them. I don't really know how they kind of do that unless they do something like turning on Dom, because Dom's been so intertwined with Judgment Day for so long.
Yeah.
And I get letting them just kind of fizzle out and letting them just kind of, quietly go away. But Judgment Day has been a big thing on WWE for, years at this point. I feel like there needs to be some sort of like proper resolution or proper end to it.
Yeah.
As much as it's been bad at times as of late, I guess, like there were times where it was really, really good. Times where it obviously dipped throughout even the height of Judgment Day, I would say.
Yeah.
So I just think that they need to have some sort of resolution, and for me, ultimately, maybe it's Finn and Liv versus Dom and Rhea. Maybe you get the band back together one more time with Dom, and Dom's sitting there just like, I can't do this all on my own, please. I don't know. But some way, somehow, Dom's got to just at the end of the day be the biggest star that comes out of this Judgment Day.
Yeah, no, that needs to be the thing 100% because Finn ain't it anymore. And Dom is a GOAT. Get that man titles. Get that man some nuggies. Titles what is it? Tendies and titles.
Yeah.
Tendies and titles. We're going to say
it's going to be on a shirt.
It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. Last one. last one here. We're going to talk about WrestleMania 41 main events because we have to.
Okay.
WrestleMania 41 main event is officially one of the most discussed main events of all time in terms of being a year out. This entire basically since the day after WrestleMania 40, the main event of 41 has been discussed. And we talk about it a lot here, but it's like, which one would we book here? So we have three options here. We have Cody versus Roman 3. Settle the rivalry once and for all. Have 39, 40, 41.
Okay.
Trio of matches for the ages.
Okay.
B, Cody versus Rock. C, Rock versus Roman.
Yeah, 41 is definitely probably the most discussed. I mean, the only one I can remember being as discussed as 41 is probably 40, right after 39. Are they going to do this again?
How the hell are they going to get Cody there?
For me, for 41, it's going to have to be Rock versus Roman. I would rather, like, it's two parts. Like, the bloodline stuff has been so good for so long. I don't want that to drag out another year. I think that even if maybe they end it just a hair too early, would be better than dragging it on and losing steam for a whole nother year.
Yeah.
There's already people saying bloodline stuff should have been over while Roman was gone anyway. So we've already heard that. So we'd probably hear it even longer if it continues to go. Rock, in terms of like the quality of wrestling too, I think that he's said he's got 2 left. So like, I'd rather him versus Roman be now, because I think the quality of wrestling that you're going to get would be better than perhaps next year. Rock's another year older. Roman's another year older. Maybe their bodies can't take it as much. Cody can go do, I don't know, he can go fight Randy or something for Mania, something like that, even though I think Randy and Cena should fight each other at Mania. So you're kind of like,
Randy.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck with Cody, I guess, in terms of what do you do with your champ at that point. But I think Rock versus Roman kind of has to be maybe your night 1 main event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably night 2, I guess, because it is Rock Roman.
I'm going to say Rock Roman 2 for the exact same reasons you just said. A little bit of me wants to choose A here and go with Roman Cody 3.
Why not both? Why not A and C?
have Cody pull double duty or have Roman pull double duty and beat Cody Rhodes and The Rock on the same weekend?
Or Cody just loses. Or Cody wins, Roman loses night 1. Then that, like, The Rock costs Roman or something.
Oh.
And then boom. Next night. Set up the main event in the opener.
Right. It's not even announced.
Yeah.
It's not even announced beforehand.
Rock comes out of the beginning of night 2 and it's like, you know what, Roman? Let's go tonight. Boom.
Yeah. And the reason being is that I think that, like, it would be the most interesting one of the fights so far, because you'd have them both be baby faces going into it. And I think there'd be so much, by the time Mania comes around, like, face Roman's going to have so much stock built up in his face ability that I feel like it would be like Rock Hogan, where Cody would have to play heel halfway through the match, right? Like, it would be that sort of crowd for him. And that opportunity just sounds absolutely insane. And I think that, unfortunately, because of what we think is going to come down the line with The Rock in terms of him having 2 Manias left, if that is true, you know, we're not going to get Roman Cody again at WrestleMania, which, if you told me that at 40, I'd be like, well, good. We just had it back-to-back years. But now that Roman's doing all this face work, I'm kind of like, damn, it'd be the best ending to the 1, 2, 3 punch that we could have. But yeah, given current stance, give me Rock Roman.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point with the Roman Cody 3. I think some way, somehow, they end up flipping it to where Roman is going to be the babyface. Maybe by then, whenever that is, you get the heel Cody. That would maybe, like you said, maybe it's not at Mania. Maybe it's at, I don't know, SummerSlam. But like, just something different, something to spice it up a little bit. I do get what you're saying, though, about like face versus face. Because like, that's something we haven't seen or felt. Those two fan bases are like, those two guys are so polarizing.
Oh my God.
Fan base, you know what I mean? Like, so that place would be electric for that. But I just feel like some way they're going to flip it. And maybe you have Cody start to be more of a tweener at that point. Maybe that's how you get the 3rd one.
I mean, I'm down. No matter what we need it, we're going to get it. I just feel like that those two have demanded the respect of it being done at the biggest, grandest stage of it all, because all their matches have taken place at the grandest stage of them all. And hopefully it doesn't come, you know, at the end of their careers, like the last Rock Steve Austin match, where it was just like, you know, Oh, they're stone cold walking out there. Hopefully he can get through this match, even though Dude was in the hospital last night.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah. I mean, those two demand the Mania stage. I mean, they don't deserve to be put on I don't know, Taboo Tuesday, even though Taboo Tuesday, the first one was
that'd be
nice.
lit. That'd be
Don't
lit.
get me wrong, but something like that, or like a TLC pay-per-view, just random. You don't need it randomly thrown in I don't know, July or something.
First 2-night SummerSlams next year.
Yeah, you could do it there. I think SummerSlam next year is going to be big, so that's where I would.
That's probably where it's going to be.
But
yeah, that's probably where it's going to be. Anyway, that was our first ever Book the Story. Had a little technical difficulties, but we got through it. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed it. We obviously have expanded what we've been doing lately with these games, but we thought we'd have some fun on the show, and yeah, that's that. While you're out of town, so enjoy being out of town. And we'll be back. There will be no, obviously, when this came out, there was no SmackDown review today. When this comes out, this is in the place of that, but we'll be back to Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews right after this. So.
Yeah. Luckily, not missing a Raw the way that it was timed out. So I'll be back and ready to go for obviously the last Raw, and then next Raw will be good to go, and then SmackDown will pick up right where we left off. So.
Back at it. Anyway, follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. If you want to come talk to us, we do have a Discord, and we love our Discord. It's in our link tree in our bio. It's got all of our socials. If you will, please go through and follow all of them. We would love to have you. Anyway, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.